Hey guys, welcome back to another day of Bible reading. Um, Today we are reading First Samuel verse 28 from verse 1. First Samuel chapter 28 from verse 1 until verse 25. It is quite long, but not that long. So if you remember last time we read about how David fled to the Philistines. Saul was after him again, and he decided to go and live with King Achish of the Philistines. And yeah, he took care of him, so he was in good hands. And Saul stopped pursuing him since now he was in Achish's kingdom. So yeah, and now we're going to read about Saul and the medium of En-dor. En-dor. Yeah, let's go. In those days, the Philistines gathered their forces for war to fight against Israel. And Achish said to David, "Understand that you and your men are to go out with me in my army." So yes, so it was normal in those days for war. I feel like a month didn't go by without war. So yeah, now Achish is saying they are now going to fight. The Philistines are going to fight Israel. And now Achish is telling David, like, since now you live with me, then you have to fight with me, which makes sense. And David said to Achish, "Very well, you shall know what your servant can do." Like David is like, "Yeah, bring it on. I'll show you what I can do. Let's do this." And Achish said to David, "Very well, I will make you my bodyguard for life. So I'll give you the best position. You take care of me." Yeah. Now Samuel had died, and all Israel had mourned for him and buried him in Ramah, his own city. Since Samuel died and was buried in Ramah, so his own city, and Saul had put the mediums and the necromancers out of the land. Saul. So he kicked out the mediums and the necromancers out of the land. So the necromancers are basically people who talk to the dead. So basically say mediums and necromancers. So he kicked them all out of Israel. For what? Yeah. The Philistines assembled and came and encamped at Shunem. And Saul gathered all Israel and they camped at Gilboa. So they camped, the Philistines were on one side, Shunem, and then Saul on the another side, Gilboa. So yeah. When Saul saw the army of the Philistines, he was afraid and his heart trembled greatly. So yeah, Saul was frightened by the size of the Philistines' army. Like, yeah, no, I would rather not. So yeah. And when Saul inquired of the Lord did not answer him either by dreams or by Urim or by prophets. So, like, whatever medium Saul tried to use to get to speak to the Lord was like, "No, I don't know. I'm not going to say anything to you. I'll be quiet." And just as you never wanted to have a relationship with me when things were going well, yeah, we'll continue in that same way. So God was like, "No, I'm not going to entertain you." Like, yeah. Then Saul said to his servants, "Seek out for me a woman who is a medium, that I may go to her and inquire of her." So now, I guess with his tail between his legs, he's like, "Okay, go seek out a woman, and then inquire. I can inquire of her." And his servant said to him, "Behold, there is a medium at En-dor." So I guess En-dor is not far from where the Israelites were, because if it doesn't sound like they had to go too far anyway. So the Saul 7, because Saul 7 is saying there's a medium at En-dor, which kind of tells me that it is a walkable distance or somewhere they could go, because God was not talking to Saul through dreams. He was not talking to Saul through prophets, and he was not talking to Saul through Urims. So now Saul has to go out and try to find someone who would have access to the Lord and get some answer either way. So Saul disguised himself and put on other garments and went, he and two men with him. So Saul and two of his men went to this woman, to this medium in En-dor, to like the Saul disguised himself, because obviously, as you if you remember, Saul kicked out all the mediums. Basically, anyone who could communicate with the spirit was kicked out of the land. So now Saul has to disguise himself, because if you know, if you are running away from someone and now they come to you, you would automatically think that they are here to kill you. So I see why Saul had to disguise himself, because he knew that if he had not disguised himself, the woman wouldn't have been able or free to communicate on his behalf or whatever. And he said, and they came to the woman by night, and he said, divine for me by a spirit, and bring up for me whoever I shall name to you. So yeah, I guess it's like making a call to the spirit, like, okay, whoever I name, you call them, you bring them forth. So like, okay, I'm going to make a call, and whoever I name, you bring them forth. Like, okay. So it was that easy back then. The woman said to him, surely you know that what Saul has done, how he has cut off the mediums and the necromancers from the land. Why then are you laying a trap for my life to bring about my death? Again, as I was saying, so the woman obviously knows that she is not allowed to practice being a medium. So she is not allowed to practice her job, basically. So now this person is coming to her and telling her that, Ish, I need your help. So obviously she's going to be concerned, like, why do you want me to do this when you know that we have been kicked out of the land? Is this a trap? Are you trapping me so that Saul can catch me in the act and take my life? So I understand her concern. But Saul saw to her by the Lord, as the Lord lives, no punishment shall come upon you for this thing. So of course the man is desperate. So as the Lord lives, swearing by the Lord that I will not, like, nothing will happen. But of course the woman at this point doesn't know that this is Saul speaking. She just thinks that it is someone who basically is promising not to tell Saul. So basically she just thinks this is just a normal person who would not pass on what happens here to the king. So it will just stay between us. Then the woman said, whom shall I bring up for you? He said, bring up Samuel for me. So that's clear. But when the woman saw Samuel, she cried out with a loud voice, and the woman said to Saul, why have you deceived me? You are Saul. So I guess she figured out as soon as she called on Samuel, and she figured out that the only person who would want to speak to Samuel is Saul. And now, why did you do this, Saul? Why did you deceive me? Yeah, and you are Saul. The king said to her, do not be afraid. What do you see? And the woman said to Saul, I see a god coming up out of the earth. He said to her, what is his appearance? So that's explanatory so far. So she sees Samuel like a god coming out of the earth. And then Saul asked her to keep explaining his appearance. And she said, an old man is coming, and he is wrapped in a robe. And Saul knew that it was Samuel, and he bowed with his face to the ground and paid homage. So yeah, just by the description, Saul knew that, okay, this is Samuel. She's not lying. I wonder what was the reason for him kicking out all those people, because it's not like they were doing anything wrong. So I think basically they were, just, I guess, doing what Saul didn't like. Saul didn't want anyone to challenge his authority, I guess. I don't know why. Then Samuel said to Saul, why have you disturbed me by bringing me up? I was resting. Why did you call on me? Why? I was resting. When I was here on the earth, you never wanted to talk to me. So why did you call on me now? Saul answered, I am in great distress, for the Philistines are warring against me, and God has turned away from me and answers me no more, either by prophets or dreams. So this is just Saul communicating his concerns, like, I don't know what to do. We have war with the Philistines and they are coming on strong, but God is not communicating with me. God is not talking to me either in dreams or with prophets. So I don't know what is the way forward. Therefore, I have summoned you to tell me what I shall do. What do you think I should do? If only Saul had this concern for communication in the first place, we wouldn't be here. If he needed the confirmation from Samuel or God in the first place, we wouldn't be here. And Samuel said, why then do you ask me, since the Lord has turned from you and become your enemy? The Lord has done to you as he spoke by me. For the Lord has torn the kingdom out of your hand and has given it to your neighbor David. Oh, now imagine hearing all of this. The Lord has turned his back on you. As he told you through me when I was alive that he was going to take your kingdom out of your hands and give it to your neighbor. And now it has happened. So why are you acting surprised? Because you did not obey the voice of the Lord and you did not carry out his fierce wrath against Amalek. Therefore, the Lord has done this thing to you this day. This is the consequences of your actions. You did not listen. You did not obey when the Lord asked this of you. So this is the outcome of it. Moreover, the Lord will give Israel also with you into the hands of the Philistines, and tomorrow you and your son shall be with me. Oh no! So now verse 19. Let us Saul finding out that he's basically going to die tomorrow. Him and his sons, when they go into battle, they will join Samuel because we all know that Samuel is dead. Oh no! Now, what would you do I guess you can't not go to war, because I feel like even if he didn't go, one way or another, a sword might just fly by and hit him. So if it is meant to be, if God has destined it to happen, it's going to happen. So yeah, verse 19, moreover, the Lord will give Israel also with you into the hands of the Philistines, and tomorrow you and your son shall be with me. So not just you, Israel too. Israel, who you claimed to love and serve, will also be given into the hands of the Philistines. The Lord will give the army of Israel also into the hands of the Philistines. Yeah. So it's not just who will lose your life. Also the army of Israel will also perish on the same day that you do. So imagine finding out that you're going to die tomorrow. What would be more shocking? Like going into the battle knowing that you're not going to make it out, or sleeping. I feel like even sleeping would be a challenge because now it is done. God is not asking him if it's going to happen or not. It is basically done. God is telling him what is going to happen tomorrow. Whether he likes it or not, it is going to happen. Then Saul fell at once full length on the ground, filled with fear because of the words of Samuel. Yeah, as I was saying, like I feel like I would also fall to my face, like flat, faint, and just be like, the end has come. You know, like as a king, obviously as a king, you never think that your end will come soon, but eventually it does come. And you always think that, everyone always thinks that they would die in their old age. But this time, Saul is finding out that he would actually die tomorrow, and his sons will be dying with him. So now he is shocked, and then he faints and falls to the ground, and yeah. And there was no strength in him, for he had eaten nothing all day and all night. So he had not eaten anything for like 24 hours, all day and all night, but also adding on the shock of the news that he just heard. So yeah, and the woman came to Saul, and when she saw that he was terrified, she said to him, Behold, your servant has obeyed you. I have taken my life in my hands and have listened to what you have said to me. Now therefore you also obey your servant. Let me set a morsel of bread before you and eat what you have, what you may have strength when you go on your way. So yeah, the woman is basically saying, when you came to me, you promised that you would not hurt me. If I do this, you will not harm me. I will live with my life intact if I obey you. So now, this is your chance to, you have to eat so that you can have strength to go back to your home. It is simple, but yeah. Because she saw that he was shocked, he was distraught, and everything wrong with the world. But he refused and said, I will not eat. But his servants together with the woman urged him, and he listened to their words. So he arose from the bed and sat on the bed. I mean, you might as well eat. I would also want to eat, knowing that I'm dying tomorrow. I feel like if I know that I'm dying tomorrow, I would make sure that I eat a lot of food. Not just like a steak and some vegetables, no. A lot of food. Everything that I have always wanted, but I couldn't or I didn't. Or I ate in moderations, but now I would eat to my heart's fullest content. So, but yeah, he's like, no, I'm not going to eat. So, but yeah, because the Saul came with his servants and they were like, no, you have to eat. You have to eat. And eventually he did eat the bread that was given to him. Now the woman had a fattened calf in the house, and she quickly killed it, and she took flour and kneaded it and baked an unleavened bread of it. So I wonder how, because like I know that when you cook beef, like obviously I don't think they wanted to cook it like medium rare or blue or whatever. I believe that they were cooking it in a maybe a stew way. So beef and some some veggies or whatever. So obviously that takes a while, and obviously like it's not the beef from factories, it's beef that you kill. I don't know, like I'm like, so you are just chilling there for an hour while they kill this animal, and then we have to wait until they finish cooking it, and then now even the bread too. But I guess I mean they had nothing to rush back to, so everything was just done at its time on the right pace. There was no rush or whatever. And she put it before Saul and his servants, and they ate. Then they rose and went away that night. So yeah, So yeah, they put. She finished cooking and gave the food to Saul and his servants. They ate, and then they left. Went their way. So now Saul goes back home knowing this is my last night alive. This is my last night alive, and obviously he is terrified because as much as we all know that we are going to die. We don't know like the exact process. You just know that you're either going to heaven or hell, and but then until you actually get there yourself, you don't know for sure what you will. So I'm like, now he is thinking like, okay, so I'm going to face my maker who I have been denying, disrespecting, because I thought I would be invincible for life. What I thought I could hide behind is no more. So now I have to be accountable for all the irresponsibilities and the responsibilities of my actions. So every decision that I made, there's no more excuses. He is going to die. There is no more excuses. So he has to face God. And yeah. Well, obviously, I'm just imagining it as now you are facing your father. Now you have to be I'm sorry. Like, you have to be truthful and actually face the consequences of your actions. You can't get away from this anymore. Yeah, that's it, ladies and gentlemen. That's the end of 1 Samuel 28, verse 1 until 25. Tomorrow we are going to read about the Philistines rejecting David. So, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining me today, and I will see you next time. With much love. Enjoy the rest of your week. See you next time. Bye bye. Jesus love you.